I'm Rinat. I know it's been a while since I've done a live or whatever. I am here today because I want to talk to you about the census and why it is important to fill out the census as it allocates resources from the government, from our government. It takes 10 minutes to fill out the census, as it takes me 10 minutes to make a mask. So we're gonna make a mask today, and all those who wanted a Rinat Brodach mask, now you can go to rinatbrodach.com and download our pattern under our COVID-19 section. I pre-cut my face and I pre-cut my lining. So you're gonna have 2 pieces of the lining and 2 pieces of the face. So now we're gonna pin the mask. I am going to pin the seam that goes from the nose to the chin, and so right now we're gonna pin it. And as I'm pinning it, it only takes 10 minutes to fill out the census on the internet at mycensus2020.gov. And if you don't have any access to internet, you can use your phone and dial 844-467-2020, and you can do this in 13 different languages. So now that we've pinned the seam line here, we are going to sew it on a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So even if you're not eligible to vote, you can still go online and fill out the census. It is very important because part of this allocates who will represent us in the House of Representatives. This is super important because of what is happening right now in the country due to all the racial issues. It is really important that we make sure that whoever represents us is diverse as the communities we live in this country. So now that I've sewed my center face seam line, I'm going to go to the iron and press open the seam. If you have a ham at home, this works amazing. I swear by this. So I'm just gonna push it to one side, and then the other one will push to the other side so it's even when we will attach them together. So back to the census. If we are undercounted, we are underfunded. In the allocation of resources and funding, it is very important to get the exact count of everybody in the country and in your state, so the government will know exactly who and where to get the funding to. So now that we have both the face and the lining sewed together, I'm gonna pin both the face and the lining. So if you notice on the pattern, you will put a pin like 1.25 inches before you end, because that's gonna go back inside to clean the mask. So I'm just gonna pin it all the way around. So now that this is pinned, I am gonna go ahead and sew it. And we're sewing this also at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So now that we're done sewing this, I'm gonna flip it inside out and go back to my iron and iron it out. But let's go back again to the census. Not only are these resources and funding for things like hospitals and hospital bed counts, but it also supports our cultural institutions as, education and arts, and programs like grants that support creators and independent artists like myself. So I have this flipped inside out right now. So what we're gonna do is we wanna press all of our seams clean so it lays flat on your face. I hope I am making this very easy for everybody, and you all will have some badass masks after this. And get creative. The sky's the limit. And if somebody has the ham at home, this is like my favorite thing in the world, especially if you have curvy shapes that have to like hug your face. So this is perfect for that. So now once everything is flat here, we're gonna take our ends and flip it inside like this. So and then we'll do the other side as well. You're gonna flip the raw edges inside just until you have that stitch line. And again. And now we're ready for the elastic parts. So now that we ironed our mask, all the edges, I pre-cut the elastic for the ear part. If you're doing a woven mask, I suggest you pre-cut it for 7.5 inches. If you're doing a mask from a stretchier material, as in a jersey or a ponte, whatever you crave, I would cut 6.5 inches. So now what you're gonna do is, you're gonna stick, I like to do 3/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch. I'll stick it inside here. And then I'll go back to my 1/4 inch seam allowance and I'll do a nice top stitch. Easy. So as me bringing awareness to the census, one more part that's very important to add here, that nobody should be afraid of filling out the census. Nobody's passing out your information. You won't be getting some random spam emails. The government will keep your information protected for 72 years. So now we've finished the elastic part of the mask. The only thing that we're missing is the Rinat Brodach logo. So I have my logo. I like to put it on the right side of the mask. I'm gonna put a pin in it so it doesn't move. And then I'll just top stitch the edges of the logo. And voila! I hope everybody got some awareness of the census. You can go to mycensus2020.gov and you can go to rinatbrodach.com and download our pattern. And I hope my tutorial was easy for you and you can do it yourself at home and get creative. The sky's the limit. And be well, be safe. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you. Ciao.